Welcome to the topic on managing application state using the NgRx Store. The NgRx Store is a powerful state management solution that follows the Redux pattern. It allows us to manage the entire application state in a predictable and centralized manner. In this topic, we'll explore how to effectively use the NgRx Store to manage the state of your Angular application. The role of the NgRx Store. The NgRx Store is a single source of truth for your application state. It holds the complete state tree of your application and provides mechanisms to read and update the state in a predictable way. Core principles of the NgRx Store. The NgRx Store is built on three core principles: immutability, unidirectional data flow, and pure functions reuse. Immutability. State in the NgRx Store is immutable, which means it cannot be directly modified. Instead, we create new copies of the state with the required changes whenever we want to update the state. Unidirectional data flow. The data flow in the NgRx Store follows a unidirectional pattern where actions trigger state changes and reducers handle those actions to produce a new state. Pure functions reduces. Reducers in NgRx are pure functions that take the current state and an action as input and return a new state. They don't have any side effects and should produce the same output for the same input. Setting up the NgRx Store. To get started with the NgRx Store, we need to define the application state, implement reducers, and register them in the app module to integrate them into the NgRx Store. Defining the application state. The application state is represented as an interface that describes the shape of the data we want to manage in the store. Implementing reducers. Reducers are responsible for handling actions and updating the state. They take the current state and an action as input and produce a new state based on the action type. Registering reducers. Finally, we need to register the reducers in the app module to integrate them into the NgRx Store. Working with the NgRx Store. Once the NgRx Store is set up, we can interact with it in our components by dispatching actions to modify the state and selecting specific data. Dispatching actions. To modify the state, components dispatch actions to the store. Actions describe the intention to change the state. Selecting data. To access specific data from the store, we use selectors. Selectors are efficient functions that retrieve the required data from the state. Summary. The NgRx Store is a powerful state management solution for Angular applications. By defining actions, reducers, and selectors, and registering them in the store, we can efficiently manage the application state in a predictable and maintainable way. In this topic, we covered the core principles of the NgRx Store, its setup process, and how to interact with the store using actions and selectors.